Hi babies, it's Mama Sha. I wanted to take a couple of minutes of your time, and a lot of you are already familiar with the video I posted on YouTube, and I think it's on our website under my tips on how to make a no-sew but very functional doll baby, or Poppet, voodoo doll, whatever you want to call it. The video, I happened to be watching it this last week and noticed it was so outdated that I thought I would just freshen it up a bit, maybe do a new one. For those of you that have never seen the video, well, welcome. And this is how I make a very simple but very effective doll baby. Doll babies can be used in healing work, cleansing work. They're very good for protection. They're good for bindings. You can make them for yourself. You can make them for family members. And there's a million ways you can make doll babies. And there's a million things out there that you can make doll babies out of. I mean, everything from Play-Doh and clay to mud. People make them out of sticks and Spanish moss. They carve them into wood. There's a million things. Hell, I've even made one out of crawfish mud before, out of the pipe, the chimney that the crawfish build when they make their hole. That's a old school South Louisiana trick there, and I'll get into that some other time. But this one that I do for my clients that do the spiritual cleanses is super easy. And all you need to do is start with a piece of material. The material needs to be about the size of a sheet of paper, okay? 10 by 10, 12 by 12. The reason I go with that size is it's big enough to be an effective doll baby that you can use in a vessel, that you can actually do something with. If it's much smaller, y'all wind up with a doll baby that's like 1, 2, maybe 2.5 inches. And you can still use it, but it's not as easy. That's why I like a full size sheet of paper, piece of fabric. The fabric can be a t-shirt, a pillowcase, a towel. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as the target of the work, the person that you're going to be making the doll baby for, had possession of it at one time. It was theirs. They wore it, they slept on it, whatever. It can be washed. It doesn't have to be dirty. I get that question a lot. So as long as it was theirs, they had ownership of it at one time. That's the key, because the energies are still there. It's what's known as a tag lock, and it locks spirits and the effect together. So when you work with this, once you get the doll baby made, in essence, you're working with the spirit of the person. Okay, that's why things like this work so well in folk magic and any kind of metaphysics. Okay, so I've already got my petition, usually for a cleanse. This is one for a client, so bear with me because I am going to stop here and there and take some still photographs for my client. But I have the petition, their name. I believe in this one I've also got a piece of handwriting. A lot of times you can use a clipping of hair, baby teeth. Some people use fingernail clippings, anything that was the person's. Anything that you can put in this will make it more effective. Okay, so I'll be putting that in a moment. I move my candle so I don't light myself on fire while I'm doing this video. What I usually do to start with is I cut a little strip off of one side of the cloth. And I'll show you why I'm doing that in just a moment. You can use cotton balls for this as well, but I like to just use a piece of the fabric, the material that's been sent with the information. I cut it into some pieces, and then I layer them right in the middle. Okay, just something like that. And then I'm going to take my cleansing herbs. Well, if I don't spill them all over everything first. This is my own herbal blend. It's got all kinds of goodies in it, and I've used it for years. It's got rose petals, chamomile blossoms. It's got calendula blossoms. There is peppermint, rue, hyssop, stinging nettle. I believe there's some blessed thistle in there. There's just all kinds of goodness. This is the stuff that I use for every single client that comes to me for a spiritual cleanse. This is what goes into the holy water that I use. We also sell this by itself online as like an herbal bath tea that you can put, either you can use in your shower or in your bath. Okay? So I sprinkle a little bit of this right on top of where I put that extra fabric. This becomes the head of the doll baby. And as we know, a lot of spiritual cleanses is a lot of head work. You're cleaning out negative space, right? So I focus a lot on the head when I do these workings. I'm also going to put my handwriting sample and my petition inside of here. Doesn't matter if you put it on the herbs, in the herbs, under the herbs, whatever. Stop and take a photo for my client. All right. Now we're going to make the doll baby. Get my yarn all strung out here. The easiest way to do this is to reach across and grab that top corner and pull it over. Okay. Then I pick up that middle part. I kind of wad it up. And like I said, this is going to be the head of the doll baby. Okay. Then I take my thumb and I push down on the inside to make sure those herbs and that material and that information is all packed down inside there. Okay, just like so. And you're going to close it up. Turn it over. Okay, just like this, little ghosty there. I'm going to take my yarn or my twine or my string, whatever it is I'm working with. I'm going to leave me a couple inches as a tail. I'm going to go around the head a couple of times and I'm going to tie it off. And Mama Sha's pretty old school. It's just drilled into me that when you're tying something off, you knot it 3 times. Okay? Then holding that little piece of extra tail in one hand so it stays out of the way. What you're going to do is you're going to reach over here to the side. You're going to bunch some of this up. I'll kind of do it so that y'all can see what I'm doing. This is going to become an arm. You're going to take the piece of yarn that's still attached to your skein and you're going to wrap it around that arm a few times. Work your way down towards the end of it. And then back up. Okay? So then see? And you got an arm. Now you can't just go directly across the body or behind the body and start the other arm. Because if you do, it's going to pull the little arm together and they're going to be like clapping their hands. You don't want that. So what I do is I go around the head a couple of times. Okay? And I flip the doll baby over. And then you repeat the process. Still holding on to that little tag end of the yarn. Okay? But you're going to do the exact same thing. Just wad up some of it. Like so. And then start going around it again with your yarn. Now, you're really the only person that's going to see this doll baby unless you give it to the person. So it ain't got to be pretty. The arms don't have to match. Okay, see? Then I go back around the neck again, because again, if you pull it too tight, he's going to clap his little hands. Then I start working the yarn around the body. Usually what I do is I go down below the arms and I create kind of like a waist. Go around it a couple of times. I tend to cross the chest and go back up. Basically, you're just keeping it together, okay? It's really all you're doing. Now, some people here, before you finish the doll baby, will open this up a little bit and they'll add any other personal effects inside. You can put more herbs. I used to put herbs inside of here as well. This basically becomes the body of the doll. I don't do that anymore. I didn't find it any more or less effective than just putting herbs in the head. Okay, so the choice is yours. Then I just start working down the body a little bit. And all you're doing is you're going around it with your yarn, kind of keeping it somewhat bunched together. I usually do 3 or 4 passes depending upon how long I want the doll to be. Okay, then once you get a good size, all you got to do is work your way back up. It ain't got to be pretty. Like I said, unless you give it to somebody, ain't nobody going to see this but you. Okay? So once you work your way back up, you can flip your doll over. And this is where your little string that you had comes into play. Okay? Let me cut from my skein. So I'm just working with the 2 pieces here. And you're just going to tie them together. All right. Trim those off. And then usually what I do is I trim off some of the tail, because you really don't have any need for that. And there you go. Perfectly good little doll baby. It's a good size that you can put it in a vessel. You can put it in a box. You can work with it. You can pray over it. You can put it on your altar and work protective or healing energies. If you're binding one to someone else, you can make 2, bind them together. If you're binding a person, their face, their head is big enough, you can draw a face on it, and then you can bind their eyes or their mouth. You can bind the hands together if they're causing issues. There's a million different ways to use this little doll baby, right? It's a good size. It didn't cost much. It was a couple of minutes of your time and you're done. It ain't pretty, but it is effective, babies. And that is the key to how this works, okay? These are the right size for me because I use these size jars for the cleansing work that I do. So here in a little bit, once this little doll is ready, I got to do a couple more things to it. I have to baptize it as the person, along with a couple other prayers and things like that I do. But this will go into holy water along with the leftover herbs. And that's what I will work for 7 days, for the first 7 days of our 21-day spiritual cleanse. Okay, so it's a perfect size. There you go, babies. That's all you need to know. That's the easiest way that I know of to make a doll baby. Quick, stupid, simple. You ain't got to get your hands very dirty. Okay, and most people have something belonging to a target. That's the key. All right. If y'all have any questions, you want to know more about doll babies, feel free to reach out to me. Y'all can let me know. This video will probably wind up on YouTube, so make sure that you like and subscribe and visit us on our website. And if y'all want to see more videos like this, let me know. All right. You can find us at www.inexplicablethings.com. All right, babies. Love y'all. Hope this helps ya. All right, babes. Bye-bye.